All right. Hi, everybody. I'm your eighth grade math teacher, Mr. Botelho. So welcome to eighth grade Blue Team. Hope you are doing well and excited to start a new year, just like I am. However, we all know that this year, 2020, hasn't been what any of us really expected. So just know that this is all new to us. So be patient with yourself and with me, really, as the days go on, as we get used to all these new routines and expectations and schedules and masks and walking around this way and walking around that way and going to lunch in the library and in the cafeteria and remote Mondays and being home half the other 2 days. There's a lot to get used to, and so be patient with yourself. It's going to take a couple weeks. Be flexible and be patient with me because I'm trying to figure this out as I go as well. So the other thing, speaking on 2020, like I said, things can change from week to week, day to day. I kind of have a plan going forward, but it could change in our if the structure is not working. And like I said, there will be a learning curve as we go. It's okay to feel overwhelmed. I know I've been feeling a little overwhelmed. So as you're going, if you're feeling a little overwhelmed, that's okay too. But each day and week will get better. That's what I'm hoping. Stay positive and work hard, and know that in the end, I'll do best of my ability to really teach you math and support you however I can. And your job is to do the best you can and learn and grow as a mathematician person the best that you can too. So that's my little spiel on that. Let's talk about myself. Tell you a little bit about myself. Uh, I'm getting old, guys. I am not as young as I used to be. However, I've been doing this for a bit now. So I've been teaching now. This is the beginning of my 16th year, or I finished 15 years. I can't remember. I taught at high school to begin, and then I taught middle school in Attleboro for a little bit, and I taught at elementary school in Avon, Massachusetts, near Brockton. Taught sixth grade there for a little bit, and then I've been here for the last 7 or 8 years. I used to teach math lab. This is school year's position for the first 4 years here, and this is my 5th year on eighth grade math. We used to be white team, and now I'm blue team. We had that weird year in the middle that you probably remember where, well, you probably don't, you weren't part of eighth grade, but we had no teams. It was kind of different. Let's see here. I went to URI for my undergrad, and then UMass Dartmouth for my master's. Yeah, so that's a little bit about me professionally. Here's a little game that you're going to play with your when as a class whenever we're meeting as a whole group. It's called Two Truths and a Lie, and what I'm going to have you do as part of your assignment is going to fill out a beginning of the year Google Forms survey, and part of this is this game, Two Truths and a Lie. So here's an example of what you're going to do. I'm going to tell you 3 things about myself, and you have to guess. 2 of them are true, 1 of them is a lie, in no particular order. So a few things about myself is I have a daughter and a son. Number 2, I've met Tom Brady. Number 3, I only have 3 front teeth. So which one do you think is the lie? Uh-huh. Oh, the lie was number 1. I have 2 daughters, not a son and a daughter. These are my daughters that you can see here. That is right here. That's Maddie, the younger, and my older daughter is Brooke. Maddie's going to be, Maddie will be 2 in February, and Brooke will be 5 in November. So going back, I did meet Tom Brady. I'll have to tell you that story in person. It was for a brief second, but it was the best second of my life. No, I'm just kidding. I love Tom Brady, and he will always be my favorite football player of all time. He just doesn't play for my favorite team anymore, which is the Patriots. So sorry if you're not a Patriots fan. I know that's not as popular as it used to be. Yeah, and I only have 3 front teeth. You're supposed to have 4 front teeth. 1, 2, 3, 4. And I was born with only 3. So random fact. So when you do yours, try to make them all very believable or very unbelievable, or maybe one that you like. mine that I wanted you to get tripped on was one of these two, thinking that there were lies and that one was true. So be creative in how you create yours. What else I get to tell you? So things you'll learn 8th grade math. Let's just talk about the first half of the year. We're gonna start with similar and congruent figures and finding missing side lengths. Then transformation, so all on a graph, taking figures and dilating, translating, reflecting, and rotating the figures. So we'll learn about that. Then we're gonna go into multi-step equations. Kind of like you did in 7th grade, but we're going to really focus more on the equations that have fractions and decimals. Then my favorite part of the year is linear relationships, which is kind of like constants of proportionality and constant proportional relationships. And then there's a whole bunch of other stuff we'll do. But that's really going to take us to at least Christmas time for sure. So what else we got here? Oh, if you're compacted math, we use more of the Algebra 1 curriculum. So we're going to start right into linear relationships, graphing and writing linear relationships, and then solving and graphing inequalities, and then systems and exponent rules, polynomial and factoring, and then things get real crazy at the end of the year with some quadratic functions. Oh, you're going to love it. So yeah, we'll talk. There's some differences there. We can talk more about that in class. So here's some of the pictures from last year's crew of kids before COVID. So this was, I think, my E period. I can't zoom in because it messes. Oh, can I? Oh yeah, look at that, I can. And then I don't know how I zoom out. Oh, okay, so that's E period. And then this was my compacted group last year. So you can see them. Oh, that goes too far in. Zoom back out. I thought, yeah, back to fit. That was my compacted group. This was my D period, smaller group here. So you probably recognize some of these guys. So we put these on our Google Classrooms for our backgrounds. And for some reason, I never got to B period. And then came COVID, and we never were close to each other in person without masks since. So that's what it is. Let's keep going here. More things you need to know. I'm sure you're having a great time watching this at either in class or at home. So the next thing, what you need to know about our class routines and structures of how things go, particularly when we're in class and not learning from home. So we usually start with the warm-up, call it the math message. While you do that, I can check homework. I review the homework as a whole class, then we introduce the lesson, and then we practice and review at the end of the class and maybe give some more homework. So about introducing the lesson, I've always used videos for a long time, really, and now it kind of comes in more handy because of the way we're learning. So let's see. Oh, it won't let me, darn it, it won't let me click on it unless I am in the actual slide. So maybe I'll take you out of the slide for a second, but this one, this guy here, let me click. Oh, I think I have to be on cursor. Let me see if that works. Wait, I figured it out. Okay, so here's what my video references look like. Okay, Lucas Sobchak used to always make fun of me. I have my own YouTube channel. All right, so this is my third. He always make fun of me. I always start my videos with all right. So all right. Anyways, he wanted me to start differently, but basically you'll have the paper in front of you that I am explaining the reference notes to. Time trying to make this reference video for you guys, so take 3. In today's reference, we're going to be looking at similar figures and using their properties to find missing side lengths, scale factors, and their different angles. So that's one of the first ones you're going to be looking at. Let me see if I can show you another one here. There I am. Other people's videos that I've used in the past. So I'll use this guy. It was this mashup math, I think it is. Yeah, so I use this a lot.
Hey everyone, thank you for joining me. Similar is much more specific.
Okay.
So let's go ahead and explore that further.
What else did I have on here that I wanted to show you? Who's this person? Sometimes we do fun songs or rap video parodies. This is one of our first transformations. You'll love it. And usually when I didn't want to show that yet. That's my favorite. So what I'll usually do is while I'm doing the video is I'll pause and I'll usually be asking you questions. So we'll either do it on Ed Puzzles or in person. I would say, what's the line of reflection here? And you would probably have to tell me that is x equals 1. Well, it's right there in the corner. But, I would be basically asking you some questions as the videos go on in class, not just watching them. Then we have this guy. Oh, man. See if I can play this guy's video. So this is goes out to the compacted math group. He is a favorite. It's Math by Fives. His last name is Ives, but he is quite a character. You're either going to love him or you're going to hate him, but most people in compacted math love him. The other classes, not so much.
Point and slope, we use point slope. Here they give us 2. Here they give us 2. Here they give us.
I do that a lot too. You'll get used to that.
Here they give us point slope. Point slope. Point slope.
Love that guy, and you'll learn to love him too, for sure. So we'll talk more about the videos, but that's part of my style of teaching. Let's talk about what you need for physical math class. All right. So here's what you need. I'll tell you more about that Santa Claus later.
All right, so here's what you need for physical classroom this year when we're in the school building. So the main thing you really need is a binder. So your binder, I'll show you what that looks like in a second, is 1.5 inches or bigger, nothing too much smaller. And these are your sections, and I'll post this on the classroom at some point. For your tabs, there's 5 sections: math message, classwork, homework, reference, and assessment. So we'll get into that more throughout the year as we get going. I'll give you an example here of my binder that I use for our first unit. It's obviously much different than yours, but you can see here, math message is how I start. Then it's got classwork. And after that tab, I have all my homework assignments for you guys, followed by the reference and the assessment. So again, that's what I'm looking for the classroom. If you don't have tabs or a binder, I definitely have a lot of extras. And then the actual and obviously you need a pencil, of course, something to write with. And then you'll also need each day, well, not each day, kind of as needed basis, depending on the unit we're doing, is you'll need your scientific calculator that you probably have in 7th grade.
Sorry guys, we got movement breaks in here.
7th grade, so either one that looks like that or one that looks like that. If you're in compacted math, some type of graphing calculator that looks like that.
So I'll pause it here and I'll tell you a little bit in a second. Technically, these calculators are nice to have. We're in 2020 now, and there's just these websites where you can do pretty much the same stuff. And I put that in Google Classroom for you for calculators and such.
So in all honesty, even if you don't have a calculator, I'll post Desmo's
there I am repeating myself. Do that too. All right, so what else we got here? Moving along in our presentation, that's what you need. So I work from packets. I kill a lot of trees. I don't mean to kill trees, not literally, but with paper. It happens, and I messed up when I made this unit's packets, a big thick packet, and I did it instead of double side. I did it single, and I just wasted so much paper, and I felt bad. But the packets make it good because you get all your handouts at once. Even though we are still working remotely, I still like doing math, paper pencil, and so sometimes it will just be, do classwork pages 22 to 24, and take a picture and put it in your Google Docs or whatever. So let me tell you a little bit more about the packets.
All right, so this year, what we do, which actually might work out well if we go back to purely remote because you'll have all your handouts and paperwork at home. For those of you that don't have printers, is we usually work out of packets. So I developed this system last year because there's no real textbook in 8th grade math or compacted math. We do work from a textbook, but I just like paper and pencil and being able to even just write out and have all your papers in one spot and write out your math and that kind of stuff. So let me just kind of quickly show you guys a little bit about what the packets look like and kind of how they're set up and why I think they're pretty handy to have in math. So let me take a look here and show you. Oh, there's one of the pictures. Okay, so let's start with the non-compacted math. What the packets look like. This is going to be your first packet, similar versus congruent figures. So for you guys, basically it starts off with 3 different sections that you would have in your binder too, usually. Sometimes I'll add reference and it'll go into your binder. I'll add a sheet for math message, it'll go into your binder. Or I'll give you extra classwork that's not part of this packet. But basically, what people usually do is put this packet right in the front of their binders, and then because it will be hole punched there once you get your packet. And basically the references, like I showed you earlier, these follow video reference notes. So it starts off, you're going to see the difference between similarity and congruence. We'll learn some more stuff about similarity, notation hacks, and what else is on here. We'll learn how to, about dilations, how to figure out scale factor, all that other stuff. But then it goes into all your warm-ups, your math messages, and then from there, later on, there's your classwork at the end, which basically is just all different handouts I've used throughout years, but at least it's in one spot. And at the bottom, what's really handy is there some page numbers. This is page 30, this is page 31, and so on and so forth. For compacted math, it looks a little different. Kind of looks almost like a textbook because most of the handouts I got for this are from a handout. So we're going to start in compacted about graphing linear equations and functions. So with yours, you still start most sections. So this is chapter 4 from the textbook, 4.1. You still start most sections with a reference that is from mine, my own creation and my own video reference. And then you have something called guided notes, which is nice. It has examples and places for you to fill in the blanks, and it has checkpoints where you get to, we spend a lot of time after we do some of the notes, pausing the video and trying the checkpoints and all that good stuff. And then after the guided notes, you can see then it's like right over here. Also has page numbers, page 3 and then page 4. After the guided notes is basically some practice. So all the practice is usually what we call B-level practice, which is medium level as far as difficulty. And then I usually try to put some of the C-level practice at the end of each section if we want to try some more difficult topics, if what we're doing is too easy. We need something a little bit more challenging. So again, that's a little bit about the packet system. I'm going to try my best, hopefully by the time you actually are watching this video or in our class or in the classroom, I'm going to try my best this year, at least in the beginning of the year, because we don't know where this is all going, to give you the packet that we're currently working on in the unit, and then the next packet in case we find ourselves strictly remote and at home. So hope this helps you understand a little bit about our packet system.
All right, and then we're almost done, guys. I know this is a lot to hear, but this part's kind of fun. Again, I'm trying to give you a little bit of background into myself and teaching style, and trying to bring as much of what we've done in the past into our new reality. And so the next thing I want to talk to you about is the incentives, and I'm going to go into the syllabus and expectations. But one of the things, obviously, there's always consequences for misbehavior, bad choices, repeatedly not doing your homework. But one thing you'll notice about myself, my style, is that I'd rather focus on a reward system and positive incentives, and giving you rewards for answering a question or volunteering an answer or getting so many questions right, or just being ready to start your day, or helping someone out with something, or all these different things. I do this sticker system. So I'll let the video explain, and then I'll add to it if I have to.
right. So the other thing I want to share with you guys that we do this year in classes, I like to focus on rewards.
Here's the repetitive part. My bad, guys.
So we have everyone's favorite stickers, and as silly as it sounds, these are actually pretty popular the last 4, 5, 6 years in my class, and they're emoji stickers. Okay, so let me show you a little bit about our emoji stickers here. So there's pretty much, I mean, these are an old set of, not the most updated ones, but you have a whole bunch of sticker emojis that people enjoy collecting. There's some that are inappropriate that I usually take off different sheets here, not to give you, but for the most part, they're cool, and I think you'll enjoy them. And so what you do is you collect the emoji stickers throughout the year, and at the end of every quarter, we have a prize bin. So let me show you a little bit about this prize bin. So this was one of last year's prize bins, and everyone gets an input on some of the stuff that goes in here. So you have some mechanical pencils and lead, bouncy balls, emoji stress balls, sports balls, grips. What else do we have here? Remember these? The silly bands. These stickers are really popular. Just a whole bunch of different things that you can choose from. And I actually, homework passes in there and all that good stuff. So that's some of the things that we do here to focus on the positive behaviors and all that good stuff. One of the other things that eventually I hope to get back to, and man, I'm gonna miss it so much in the beginning of the year. I'm gonna miss it so much in the beginning of the year. So much in the beginning of the year. So much in the beginning of the year is something called goosh balls. So some of you guys,
if anyone knows Ryan Lopes, I used to do that all the time in class. That little repetitive thing. Ooh, she used to get so mad when I did that, but it's funny and annoying at the same time.
Actually met in 6th grade when Mrs. Hanfield went to the Washington, D.C. trip, and you might have seen these or heard about these.
Yeah, some of you guys I met, if you remember, 2 years ago when I subbed for Mrs. Hanfield. So some of you guys have seen these koosh balls.
Siblings. So let me kind of show you what a koosh ball looks like here. So this is a koosh ball, okay? And I'll definitely miss them in the beginning of the year. We can get to them later. But the koosh ball, I'll still give it to you maybe every once a week so you can kind of see the new one. They all have different names, and they're easy to throw and they're easy to catch. They're actually pretty easy to throw in this hoop that's here behind me. And eventually, if we get back to it one day, you'll get stickers for making hoops. And sometimes, actually, let's see here, what I would do is I would take a sticker, say with this.
This part,
Sorry.
I can't get the sticker off the sheet, but basically I would put a sticker on the koosh, call it a scoosh, and you get a sticker on your koosh when I threw it to you. So
basically, they have all different names. So this koosh is a favorite. It's named after the.
So sorry, that's the bell. Name a basketball player famous for the Lakers. Name one that's no longer alive.
Late great Kobe Bryant, so we would call it Kobe. And then we're going to actually learn in some lessons in our first unit for the 8th grade math the difference using some kooshes. That these two kooshes are exactly the same.
Would that be congruent or similar? Just guess.
So think to yourself, does that mean they're congruent or they're similar? And these two kooshes this is actually mini.
That's mini Kobe and
Kobe. So Kobe and mini Kobe, are they, that way it looks a little easier, are they congruent or are they similar? So
to answer the question, the first set was congruent, exactly the same. These two, Kobe and mini Kobe, are considered similar.
Again, that's just a little bit of some of the fun things that we do, and I hope that one day we'll be able to take these kooshes here, throw them into this hoop, let's see if I can make it. Let's see. Oh, that actually worked. It never works. Yeah.
Happy about that. Don't ever get that to work, but
it never works. Yep. Yep.
Sorry. I got to stop doing that. All right, what else we got? We're just about done. As we wrap this up, I am going to quickly go through the syllabus and expectations, some of the nitty gritty with grading and what kind of things we are doing this year. One of the things you're going to be doing is this survey. So I'll kind of quickly scroll through it. You'll get to do your 2 truths and a lie in this section. I wonder if I want to get to the next section. These are all required, so I'm just putting things in there so I can get to the next section so I can show you what this is here. So that's your 2 truths and a lie. But then I'm looking forward to learning about you and seeing your face because we're going to be wearing masks. So try to upload a picture of yourself. I don't like looking at pictures of myself, but that's 2 of me. One over there. No, right there. And that way, whatever. And then, so you're gonna upload a picture to yourself if you'd like. If you have, take a selfie if you have one in your phone, or you can just use your camera here, all that stuff. Then you just answer a bunch of questions about yourself. I want to know more about your music and your songs that you like, because we're gonna play music a lot during class, which we've done in the past. So. Again, always has to be appropriate. Do you have then just random stuff like having access to printers, about your math abilities, favorite movies, strategies I can do to help you out, TV shows you might like, hobbies, activities. I want to know if you have a cell phone or a smartphone, because that's super important to the year that we're in. Trying to think if there's anything else. Can't scroll. Move out of the way. Yeah, I think that's about it. And then, so you'll fill that out, and then we're going to play an icebreaker outside. Hopefully the weather is nice, called The Big Wind Blows. So it's fun. Watch that video or watch it in class. That brings us to the end of that presentation. Quick tour of Google Classrooms, compacted math and CP math. Right now, by the time you're watching this, you'll see some actual assignments. Put the syllabus expectations. I put some links here to the graphing calculator and scientific calculator on Desmos. So that way, like if you don't have a calculator, you can literally just click the link and there's a nice scientific calculator for you. And then, like I said, I have my own YouTube channel, and what I did last year with all my video references and videos. Sorry, you can't see me because I'm in that. There I am. So I made playlists. So for each unit, for example, congruent and similar figures, I have a playlist of videos. So that playlist is a link here for you to see that. And same thing, if you went to compacted math under classwork, you would see, I still got to post the syllabus, but you would see a YouTube playlist here for compacted math with our first unit. So again, that's a little bit of that. Syllabus and expectations. This has been a long video, but let's just get it all done now so it's out of the way and we can move forward. So I'll go through it kind of briefly. My email, phone number's at the top. As a teacher, I expect that you treat everybody as, you know, expect me. Let me try that again. And you probably want to see my little icon in the corner. There I am. So I expect that, or you should expect that I will treat you as a young adult. I'll give you respect unless you give me reason not to. I'll work as hard as possible to see you succeed and offer you extra help whenever you need it. Student expectations, could sum it up with the warrior way: be safe, kind, responsible, and respectful. So respect is really important to me. Make good decisions, treat each other well the way you'd want to be treated, and we'll have a great year. And we'll have a lot of positive reinforcements. And if you make bad choices, you'll have some bad consequences. Students will come to class just every day with your full effort and positive attitude. I talked about what you need for materials. Compacted math, you will get a textbook to stay home with you, and then one that will be in the classroom, but the other math does not get a textbook. Behavior, we already talked about that. Obviously, we're going to focus on the incentives and good behaviors, but if we have to do consequences, we'll use the handbook and all the appropriate actions there. Yeah, we talked about that. Supplies, we talked about that. And I just want to spend like the last minute and a half talking about grading. This, and like I said, it's an intro, this whole introduction to everything. This could all change, if something's not working or something like that, this could change. Most of our tests and quizzes will happen in the classroom. So that way I can see you physically doing the test or quiz, and to avoid any bad decisions and cheating and all that other stuff that could be happening. So tests are 42%, quizzes are 33%. So basically, I'll just quickly tell you about those. Tests are done at the end of the unit. Quizzes are done in the middle of the unit, smaller. Tests are bigger, quizzes are smaller. The main thing you need to know is that I'll work with you on a test or quiz if you're willing to put the work in. If you don't get if you get below an 80, basically I let you do these rewrite forms. So students make complete rewrite forms, and basically there's a form that you'll write in a sentence or two your mistake, you'll fix the actual question, and then you'll have to stay after, in this case virtually, stay with me to get new questions similar, and you get half your points back. So theoretically, a 70 means you lost 30 points, half of 30 is 15. Your grade went up to an 85 if you do all your rewrites. Other ways, depending on the test, I might give you pre-corrections, different than Ms. Costa did, but just an opportunity to look at questions that you got wrong the first time doing the test or quiz. And again, that depends on the assessment and how hard it is. Recognizing student achievement is the RSA, is what I call it for short. I'm going to use this a little bit more. So I added it. It used to be like 3%, so I bumped it up to 7%. Basically, it could be paper or pencil. It's just these like small assessments where I just want to see, are you understanding the material? Are you doing the work? Are you asking questions? And if you're not, how can I help you with that? So they're really small assessments. Either they'll be done in paper or pencil, like I've done in the past, or now with all these different apps like Edpuzzles, Desmos, or quizzes, I might do it there. So hopefully that works out good this year. Behavior and effort is 8% of your grade. So at the end of each quarter or marking period, I'll give you, based on what I think, if you're doing a great job, you're never having any problems with your behavior, you're always giving your full effort, then you'll get 100. If you're not doing so well, you get a 60 on that portion of your grade. So homework is 10%. What do you need to know about homework? One thing everyone likes in my class is you get a freebie. So at the beginning of the quarter, you start with one freebie that you can use at any point. So you're allowed to miss one homework with no consequences, or you won't get a 0. Other than that, you'll get it 2 to 4 times. We'll see how it all works out with the remote learning. If you don't do a homework, you can give it to me the next day for half credit. And then also the other thing about homework that's pretty important is if you're absent, it's your responsibility to make it up, and I'll give you full credit. At the end of the quarter or marking period, I'll take your credits, 18 out of 21, let's say. Say you did 18 out of 21 homeworks. That averages to an 86, and that's your homework average. Extra help. When will it be? For me, virtually, it will be on Mondays, 2:30 to 3:15. Everyone can go to that one if you want. For now, I picked one later in the week, Thursdays, 2:45 to 3:30. Unfortunately, people in cohort B won't be able to attend that one. Only cohort A, because they'll be home at that point. But we'll talk more about that. I'll try to switch it maybe the following month, so it's earlier in the week. I don't know if we're allowed to have you physically stay in the building if you have a ride. I don't know all that stuff yet. Ms. Cloutier is a math lab teacher. She's offering something pretty cool. So those days, like you're going to be home 2 days a week doing your assignments, you might need help. And I'm not going to be able to help you because I'm going to be teaching the other half of the kids. So Ms. Cloutier is doing this really awesome thing where she's has these specific times that you can email her ahead of time or during these times, and she'll reach right back out to you and maybe set up a hangout with you, and you'll get some extra help. Like if you need help with something in your math class and something that I assign, she's a pro. She'll help you out with whatever you need. And then as we just wrap up here, staying connected, Google Classrooms. By the time, if you're watching this video, you are already connected, but we'll be using Edpuzzles, Desmos, Kahoots, quizzes, more to come because I'm learning every day about this stuff. Yeah, so Google Classroom is going to be the place to be. It's, when we have our Mondays remote, you'll go to my Google Classroom and you'll see I set it up. Well, you just saw it cohort earlier in the video. Cohort A will have a classroom. Cohort B will have a classroom. And that's how I'm going to start it off. But like on your Mondays, you'll look in that classroom for the link for the Hangout when it's our time for class. Remind is an app that we're going to use so you can get text messages. It's real simple. You can do it right now if you want to. After I say this, pause the video. No smartphone, no big deal, but you have a phone. You can text at Mr. BCP8 to the number 81010. That's if you're in compacted math. Sorry, I just have that one up. But you can, if you have the other classrooms for regular math, the directions are there. If you have a smartphone, I'll give you a website to do that. I'll quickly show you. I feel bad in case. So here, this is the regular 8th grade math. So you'll see in this syllabus expectations how to sign up for that. If I go down to the bottom, just end with this. Here, yikes, my bad. So yeah, it's just a different thing. It's at Mr. Botelho, at Mr. Bot Math. Kids last year used to make fun of me for that. I remember a couple kids that would kind of poke fun with that little name I created there. And then there's the web address. If you have a smartphone, you just type it in and follow the instructions. Last but not least is YouTube. I told you about that. If you want to subscribe, you can search me or use this tiny URL and subscribe. Otherwise, every playlist will be updated and there'll be a link to that playlist in classrooms. And of course, from time to time, we'll post some awesome things we do on Twitter. So in the end, that was a really long presentation, but we covered a lot of things. I hope we'll reconvene and talk about anything you have questions on or anything along those lines. But thank you for listening. Welcome to 8th grade math 2020, a year that is different than all the rest and forgettable and memorable in many ways at the same time. So that's it, guys. Have a great day.